As Governor Gina Raimondo gets set to take up her new role in Washington, D.C., here in Rhode Island, Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee is getting ready to take up her mantle and finish out her term as governor.
12 News reporter Steph Machado joins us now with what Rhode Islanders can expect from their incoming leader.
Dan McKee today sought to introduce himself to the public. He pledged to be transparent and to work to get the vaccine out to Rhode Islanders.
We'll come out of this crisis stronger than we went in.
The COVID-19 pandemic and economic crisis in Rhode Island is being handed over to Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee, set to take over for Governor Gina Raimondo when she is confirmed by the U.S. Senate to Joe Biden's cabinet. His top priority, vaccine distribution.
Every single one of our 39 cities and towns will be included in this effort.
McKee said it's hard to say when certain groups, like older Rhode Islanders, would get the vaccine under his administration, since it all depends on supply. But he did indicate one group that should get priority.
We certainly got to raise the priority level for teachers and school personnel.
Standing inside local restaurant chain Cello's, he suggested he might be willing to lift some business restrictions if it's safe.
So I think that there is areas that we can loosen up, even as long as we keep the infection rate and the distribution of the vaccine as a top priority. Safety is the top priority.
Many current and former elected leaders have been jockeying for McKee to appoint them as lieutenant governor when he vacates the office. McKee says he will vet all the contenders, though several lawmakers have submitted bills that would give the General Assembly a bigger hand in naming his replacement.
And no, I won't challenge that if in fact that happens. It is an important decision, clearly, but it's not the priority that we're talking about. We're going to focus directly on the COVID issues.
McKee said he does support legalizing recreational marijuana, but he tends to lean towards a private business model rather than the state-run model Governor Raimondo had proposed. I'm Steph Machado, 12 News.
It's going to be at least a few weeks before Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee takes over for Governor Gina Raimondo.
Well, we're getting a better idea of how he plans to tackle the state's many challenges once Raimondo joins the Biden administration. Today, McKee gave his first solo news conference, answering questions about the pandemic, the state's financial situation, and his leadership team.
12 News reporter Steph Machado was at the news conference and tells us what McKee had to say.
Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee says his top priority when he takes office will be the pandemic and vaccine distribution, but he'll also be tasked with crafting a budget with a potentially large deficit.
Good morning, everyone.
Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee chose a Rhode Island staple, Cello's, for his first solo press conference as he prepares to become governor.
And I'll be focused on running an honest, transparent government, one that works for everyone.
The Democrat has two major tasks ahead, beating the pandemic and crafting his first state budget. He's already met with Governor Raimondo's COVID response team and says science and supply will guide decisions about who gets the vaccine when. But he did indicate one group he wants to prioritize.
In order for us to get the economy back, we have to get the schools back, so that means that we certainly got to raise the priority level for teachers and school personnel.
And while he supports in-person learning, McKee took a different tone than Raimondo toward districts that choose to stay remote, like Pawtucket.
I think that you let the local districts kind of determine what they're going to do, and then the state should be supporting that.
The incoming governor was non-committal about what he might do to close a budget deficit for the upcoming year, estimated by the Rhode Island Public Expenditure Council to be $500 million. His first budget due to the General Assembly in March, if he's taken over by then. McKee will also have to decide which of Raimondo's cabinet members he might want to keep in place or replace with choices of his own.
I don't expect a major turnover.
He has so far committed to keeping the COVID response team, led by Dr. Nicole Alexander-Scott, in place so there's no interruption in the pandemic efforts. And Lieutenant Governor McKee gave no indication for who he might appoint to replace himself as lieutenant governor. He says he does believe he has the power to select that person, but he also said he won't challenge the General Assembly if they pass a law changing the process. I'm Steph Machado, 12 News.